1 hourly, anything here? Not really. Okay. Microsoft is also inside. So yeah, if you guys have any plays you guys want to see, chart-wise, anything, just let me know. I'm trying to just scanning through inside hours right now. The candle started at 11:30, so it's gonna run till about 12:30. So I'm just kind of seeing what's in here. Looks like Microsoft's an inside hour. Pfizer was an inside hour, so I can chart these for you. Looking at Microsoft. Entries would be 244.50 and then 248.26 for calls. I can start typing them out for you if you'd like. Alright, if we take a look at the option contracts for it. I would be looking at Microsoft. I would be really looking at probably go out and get these 255 for the calls for the weekly. If you want to ride that inside hour, try to get a little scalp out of it. And then as for puts, I'd probably go after these 235 or even these 230s. Another one that I said was Pfizer, so we'll look at that. If I go back to the chart on Pfizer, as you can see here, Pfizer calls above 48.80, puts below 48.31. So there we are looking at, for contract wise, I really like a 50 calls as well. And then for put side, I'd probably go like these 46, 45 ones. You guys can hear me all right? A few people that are watching. Okay, so let's see how these are playing out. Back to here, they're still in that inside hour. Kind of just hanging out. A lot of the inside hours, I didn't get a chance to chart them all, so let's go look at them. Tesla already went 2 up, so that's out. Microsoft we already looked at. IBM also 2 up. Procter Gamble is still on inside, so you can look at that one. Right, with that being now. Why is it showing? IBM's a 2 up. Apple's still inside, so we can look at Apple. Let's take a look at Apple now, with this being an inside. The chart wants to load. But your entries for calls for Apple would be 134.53. Entries for puts would be 132.67 on the hourly. You're looking for this price target if you go calls, which is 135.20. So if looking at contract wise, if it breaks that 134.53, let's take a look at Apple. Apple's one that moves a bit each day, so I would have no problem going these probably 140 calls. I like the 140 calls. You probably get them. If we get that continuation, if we get that run, kind of like we did on Friday, where SPY pulled back the whole day, but then second half kind of ran a little bit. If you can get that, you can probably get a nice run on these 140s. They're pretty cheap, under $100. Currently $89, $90, so not bad. If you have like an average size port, this is one to play. If you have a smaller port, like under 200, I would personally not play these. I'd try to find like one maybe a little bit further out. You can go like the 145s. Still the great open interest and everything, and Apple can move a bit per day. So smaller ports, I go here. Just try to not use all your capital in one trade. And then like anybody else, bigger size port, you can go after these 190s because you'll get a little bit more movement and everything. Let's see if there's anything else out there for the inside hour. Let's see, Walmart. Walmart's still an inside. This one is a nice mover in terms of options. It's about to break actually. That too is a cent away. It actually just broke it, so I will hold off on that one just because it already broke it. By the time we get in, you could miss it. Let's see, anything else on this list that is still a 1? I don't like Bristol Myers. Pfizer, we went over it, still an inside. Cisco was a 2 up. Wells Fargo also a 2 up. So really, you'd be looking at these. You could go even. What was Apple again? Oh, I will go back to Apple. Apple's still an inside hour. It's calls for 134.53. I'll type it in chat just so you miss it. Above 134.53. Puts below 132.67. So that is Apple. Contract wise, I like calls. If we go back to the chart, calls, I'd go either the 140 or the 145. And as for puts, if we do trigger the put, it's a bit of a ways down to go. It's about 132.67, so you still need about $1.50 or so. I would be looking at these 125, 130s ish. Either one of those two. Don't be sorry. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'll always go back. If you guys have any charts you want me to look at, type them in chat. I'll pull up the charts and we'll go through them together. And see what I see on each time frame, see what I look at, with the time frame continuity and everything. So just let me know and I'll take a look. If you guys are in any plays, anything. Kind of stinks that most of these inside hours are already moving to that 2. But we can also take a look at like SPY, see how that's doing. I know SPY's been taking a beating. It's a 2 up currently on the hour, so it has a little bit of room to run. You had that reversal. The hourly is the only green on the time frame, so you probably go lower. You probably get higher time, green on the lower time frames. But it's been taking a beating lately. Yesterday's what happened, or Friday actually. It was down and then it kind of rallied a little bit, nothing crazy. So maybe we get that rally again. If you see here on the 15-minute chart, you have this PMG that was to the downside. It's already started to break out and break some of these pivots. This is the next pivot, which is 380.71 would be the next pivot we're looking to take out. So if we can break that, you're looking to try to get into that gap area, which is a pretty solid gap. 389.75 from 381.81. So that's really what we're looking to get into. We're trying to break these. If you see these yellow lines here on the chart, these are the pivots, because a lot of people will place their stop losses there. Because that's where essentially, if you like with the strat, this would be then a reversal, so you have your stop losses there. So you would just looking to have, you're trying to break these. So as you see, a pivot machine gun is 5 or more of them. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We had a 7 leg one, and essentially it means that there was, if you look, you had lower highs on 7 straight. So it just never went a 2 up, went to 2 down 7 straight times. So you got the 7 legs, and then from there you're trying to, when you get the reversal, you're trying to break those highs of each one, trying to get the stop losses, trigger, and just keep on going up and up. So right now we've been through a couple. We've been through 1, 2, 3, 4 of them so far. We have 3 left. Currently I'm inside 15 minutes, so we're looking for another 2 up, try to get that reversal again, and maybe give you that momentum to get through these next ones. This will be big on a lot of the charts for calls, because if SPY starts moving in that, starts moving towards those pivots, then you're going to get a lot of the things that are inside SPY going to the call side. So they'll be looking for maybe a little scalp here and there throughout the day, the rest of the day with about 3.5 hours to go. So this is one thing you should always be mindful of. Always be watching SPY, and if you're trying to scalp throughout the day, I recommend, if you trade with candles, the 5 and the 15-minute charts. They are great for little swings here and there. You go hourly and 4 hour when you want bigger movement later on, and for like the next day and stuff. That's when you look at those when you're trying to get in position for maybe the next morning and everything. So the smaller time frames you want, as you see here, like this 15:30 hourly, 4 hour daily, weekly, and then this one at the end of the cutoff is monthly. You want those all to be moving in the same direction. So if we get the 15 to flip to a 2 down, it could then lead to the 30 going 2 down and the hourly, and that's usually when you see a lot more movement in terms of the direction you want, when they're all going in the same direction. Like here there's like a little bit 30 and hourly is up, but everything else is red, so you're kind of okay. It's usually when it's more mixed is when you don't want to just kind of get into a position just to get in. You want them to all, that reversal into them all going the same way, kind of help you out, and that, all right, you have a strong momentum to this side. So this will be a big candle here for this 15-minute. It just started at 12:15, so we have some time. We still have 11 minutes till it closes. But if we want that 2 up to continue, we have to break 379.64. That's when we'll get that 2 up, and then hopefully then we'll be shooting for that 380.71, about a little over $1, and 7 cents. So we have some room to run, which is a nice little scalp there. If SPY moves $1, you're going to make a good amount of money, especially if you have calls. So if you guys have any other charts you want me to look at, just throw them in chat. I'll throw them in the YouTube chat. I will answer any questions you have. It was on Friday I took a YOLO just at the end of the day as a little gamble in my gambling one, a gambling portfolio. And I was like, I took a 380 put for SPY, and I knew I wasn't going to be up and everything throughout the day. I was hoping for maybe a little bit of a run at the end of the day. It went against me, so I sold, thinking like, there's no point to try to hero or zero this. Woke up this morning at like 10:30, and I was very upset when I saw SPY was down to 375. It was a sad day, but it happens. Anything small account friendly? Yes. So I was going over like with the Apple. If you look at these, the calls. If you can't see that, I'll resubmit it. So I went with these for Apple, right? Above these plays, above these entry points. Sorry. And then when you look at the chart, it's still I'm on the 15. So it's still an inside hour, but for the contract wise, when I was looking at the contract for Apple, I was looking at things like for the calls, I was looking at maybe 140, and then if you're even a smaller account, you don't want to waste that much capital, you can go with this 145, this 144. You can go into these 143 to 145 range just so you don't have to wait, burn as much capital in one position. So if you're looking for calls, if it breaks that 134.53, I would look into this 143 to 145 call for this Friday. You have some time. Apple is a big mover. If you get any movement to the upside, you're looking good. If you look at time frame continuity, especially if you get this hour to flip, you'd have all four going in your way. You might have a little bit of a run, especially if SPY starts ticking up just a little bit. You could have a little bit of a run. I also looked at Pfizer, another one that small ports can play. Still inside hour. If you go back to the options for Pfizer, I was looking at like this 50 call, pretty cheap, $30, $33, pretty cheap. That's really solid for a small portfolio. Put side, I really like the 47s. You can even go like the 46s for puts for this Friday. Another one that these small accounts can get into and not have to worry about burning all their capital. I'm waiting for some others. I'm waiting for the next hour flip, which will happen in 8 minutes. Try to get some more inside bars, because a lot of them, by the time I went live, they already went 2 up, so we missed a lot of them. So we'll get the next hour flip, wait for that, and then see what's inside. I'll scan using Transpider, and then we'll move and hopefully catch some plays that we can get some little scalps here and there, and then some runs. So I'll go back to looking at SPY just so we have an understanding of what that's doing, because that'll really help us find our plays going forward. Because if we see SPY going one way, I'm not, if we see SPY going calls, I'm not going to try to look at puts. Strike, what were your entries on Pfizer? Pfizer, you go back to the hourly. Oh, I'm on the daily. The hourly, the entries for Pfizer are, using your price targets, calls is 48.80. Puts are 48.31. I will put those in chat. Pfizer. Okay. Strike wise, we'll go back over those. I'm on 5 here. Calls for Pfizer for this Friday. It's Monday, so you have plenty of time in terms of trying to get it to your direction. I like these 50s. The 50 call, you only need $1.50. It's not a huge movement for Pfizer, because you look on the daily, you're getting $1.80, $1.69, 49 cents. You're getting a lot of days where this could hit in a couple days. So I really like the 50s. They're very cheap, $32. Not going to really break the bank. If you are a little bit smaller of a portfolio, you could go these 51s. It's only an extra $1, saves you about half the amount. It's only $15. Great open interest, great volume. So you don't have to worry about getting trapped in them. Put wise, I really like the 47s. The same thing in the 30s. If you want to go a little bit cheaper, you can even get the 46s. So that's what I would be looking at for Pfizer. If we break to that upside, don't just try to force it just because like I'm charting here. Wait for this confirmation on this reversal. Try to get that reversal into the calls and then run from there. So we got 6 minutes until the hour flip. Like I said, if you guys have any other charts you want me to look at, just let me know. I'll go over them, and hopefully you can try to find us some scalps. Yeah, Jordan, I just took out money in my account, and I'm not really trading today because I missed half the day, and um, just like covering, had two weddings this weekend, so it was a rough little bender for the weekend. But I just took out money. I'm gonna announce it in the Discord today that we're gonna do $100 portfolio challenge. Starting tomorrow, I'll have $100 in my account. I'm going to be finding a lot of small plays for everybody. Try to keep them under $30 or so that way, you can make maybe 2 to 3 plays a day, make some money, show that small compounding wins over a week, could really add up. You might put $30 in, only win five. You're thinking, all right, I only won five. We only made $5, but grand scheme of things, that's 20th of your portfolio. That's huge. So you like that. You want to kind of get into the habit where it's not about the money you made, it's about the return on your investment, the percentage that you made. So that's what we're really trying to build and trying to just get people in the right habit of, how to trade and everything. So, starting tomorrow, we'll be heading that strong. And maybe one day we can have a nice like 1K 1K percent day, and then you don't have to worry about the small account anymore. You're flying. And then for you guys who use Webull, when I'm trading, especially like when I'm at work and everything, and I'm using the web browser one, I really like to go over to the grid and I'll take my, let's say I usually try to keep it to 6 charts because I'll have my up to five that I call out, and then I always have SPY on there. So I'll do the six. So as you can see, it kind of just like shrinks it a little bit. You just have to work with the chart and kind of set it up. So I like to, try to get in work a little bit early so I can set up the six. So I'm always looking at them. And then on another screen that I have, I'll have my watch list with my entries as well as alerts on for it. So just so it's easier to keep up with. And then you always are watching SPY so that way okay, SPY is doing this, I shouldn't, get in calls because it's pulling back. Just kind of ways that I trade, try to set it up so that I am, ready to go, ready to make my plays. I can see them all up here. I don't have any today because I had to make a watch list, but that's just how I trade. And then it's nice and easy because the strikes are right below. So as I see one approaching, I set it up. I start getting ready. I'll hit the buy already, and don't place it yet, but I'll be monitoring it so I know. Okay, as soon as it does trigger, hit the place and then run. And then can still watch it while watching the other ones waiting to trigger. So just kind of some things I like to do in terms of trading throughout the day. Just kind of help me set up and be in the right, right position to get in. Okay, so let's go back to the charts. We have about 2 minutes until the flip, so I'll go back to SPY for these last 2 minutes just so we can see how that's moving on the 15. It's still rocking that inside 15, so that actually could be better for us in terms of this next candle, because if this finishes inside, then we look for that break on that next flip on the hour and the 15, and then we run and we go to that direction, because especially since that could bring full time frame continuity to the downside, and then we can really have some good movement. So we'll check it on the 30. We have a 2 up on the 30, so it's probably going to finish in that two up. So we'll have to see how it goes. If we get that 2 down, which is then also on that 15 minute, 2 down, so that could really, trigger some. So just not like so much as death, but you can get some good movement to the downside to try to, have a little bit of a run. And like I was saying before, we're trying to still break these pivot machine guns to the upside, so we still have some room to run, try to get into that gap area, throughout the day, or even leading into tomorrow. They call tomorrow turnaround Tuesday, so maybe we see a nice turnaround. It does have some nasty gaps over the last 2 days because of Friday and today, so that's something that I will be looking for. In the next couple of days, try to get into those gaps and really try to get back a lot of this that is really taken a beating the last 2 days. All right, so the candles just flipped. We just had a 15 and an hour flip. So let me do a quick scan on the hourly, see what finished inside, see if we can find any plays. We have a lot that finished inside. So come down here. Let's try to find some plays that I like. Intel's a nice one. This one's usually pretty cheap, so I'll go take a look at Intel on the hourly. And whenever you see me say like hour flip, it just means that it's a new candle, or like I say 15 minutes, just a new candle, in terms of, you know, whatever chart you're looking at. So since the stock market was at 9:30, you know, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, those are all hour flips. And it opens out at 9:30, so every 15 minutes is a 15-minute, you know, and so on and so forth. You get those candles every, you know, increment. So here we are on Intel. We have a nice little inside so far. So for Intel, we're looking at calls above 38.34, puts below 38.09. So that's another one you can look at, you know, especially with Pfizer and Apple not triggering yet. So we'll take a look at the candles, the contracts, and then we can go from there. And then I'll try to keep it to only about 3 or 4 that we look at, so we're not looking at you know, a million different things, trying to figure out exactly, you know, what play we want to get into. All right, so here's Intel. It's going to be a pretty cheap one. If you look at it on the daily, you get about a, you know, $50 to $1 a day. So if I'm looking at Intel, the trigger was 38.34 for calls. I like the 40 call. You go after this 40 call, you have a nice open interest, nice volume, very cheap as well, $20. Put wise is also, puts entry is 38.09. I'd probably go this, you know, you could probably get this 36, very cheap, under $20. Those are the 2 contracts I would be looking at for Intel. So 40 calls, 36 puts. So those are the 3. Let me put them all up. We have Pfizer, then we have Apple. So Apple was calls above 134.53, so we have not hit that yet. Yeah, still have not hit that 154.53 since I alerted it. So we're still waiting for that to trigger. Pfizer was 48.80, so we'll see if that one triggered at all. Does not look like it. Puts, it does not look like it triggered puts either. It's easier to see on TradingView. The only downside to this like setup of sticks is that it's really small, so you kind of have to condense your chart a little bit and try to kind of get it to how you like it. Indicators, when you have these, kind of get really squished, especially if you have like moving averages and everything. It squishes them a lot when you have the small ones. So if you don't like that setup, you know, don't use it. You know, use something that's comfortable for you. Try to just find ways to, you know, have it all set up for yourself that you like it and it's easier for you to read. Pfizer finished that inside hour, so it actually had to update levels. So it actually did just trigger 2 down here, just barely. You know, it just went back up above the trigger. So if you wanted to play Pfizer, you could get those same exact contracts we were looking at before, based off of the entry from before, because now your price target for for puts is at 48.31. It's pulling back a little bit to the call side, so I'd wait, let it re-trigger again for this inside hour. But essentially, your updated levels are for Pfizer. So you always update them if they, you know, if they finish an inside hour again. So we have 48.75 for calls, and then 48.43 for puts. So a little bit better entry. So we'll wait for that to re-trigger and actually give us a confirmation, because it hit it, you know, while I was changing the charts and then shot right back up. So no point in trying to chase it now. Let it come back down, break the 43, and then go from there. We'll look at Apple real quick. That may have finished also inside hour and triggered. It did. So your entry would have been 134.46. You're at about 20 cents now. The initial one was 53, so that one's still running 2. You have that nice 2 up, and you're looking for this, you know, 135.20. So Apple was a nice one when it finally broke that 2 up. It finally broke out of the consolidation, ran a little bit, you know, and now we're looking for this 135.20 off of those plays. You might be able to get a little bit of a scalp here and there. So Webull does not let you look at the actual contract prices on the website. At least I haven't been able to see it. So I'll take a look on my phone off of the Apple trigger that we had. Options. We're looking at the like 143 to 145 for those small parts. So I'll look at the 145, see how that one moved. It triggered recently, so let me just look at the 1 minute so I can see when. Calls were 134.53. They broke it about here at 12.33. At 12.33, they were $21 a contract. Now they're $23, so you made about $2. Doesn't seem like a huge amount, but if you get some more movement, as you can see, 15 to a weekly are all green. So if you can get some nice movement to the upside even more, you can probably turn these. Maybe if you get out with them triggering at 20, 21, if you can get 25 or higher, that's a great trade. Grand scheme of things, when you look at it in terms of the calculator, right? If you get out at 25, so you made $4, divide that by 21, you just made 19% on that one investment for Apple. So that's a good trade. It's pulling back a little bit, but this is on the 1 minute, so it's going to be quick. We'll go back to the 15. Let's see how far there was moving. We were looking at on the hourly though. It's still kind of in that range. It didn't re-trigger yet, so don't worry about that one. So it might seem like it might be hard to keep up with me charting each individual one, but that's just because I'm going back and forth on the chart. Usually when I do this, I will set my 3 up, and then I'll only be looking at Webull, looking at the candles, and just waiting for those to trigger. But since I'm going back and forth, just trying to find like different plays, it's going to be a little bit harder to keep up with, the contracts. But you guys, if you like one, always monitor that. You can just leave me. I'll just talk, and just pay attention to that contract and get ready to buy it. I don't want you guys missing out because, you're looking at me chart plays. Always be paying attention to the contracts you're looking to get into. There's some other ones, cheap ones that if you've missed. There's Verizon. That one's a cheap one. I'll take a look at that. A lot of these are going to be kind of big hitters, but Verizon's a nice cheap one to get into. I like playing Verizon, so we'll take a look at Verizon on the hourly. Inside hour, make that white. So for Verizon, calls above 50.16, puts below 49.79. We can take a look at the contracts. And then you take a look at the contracts here. I'll put it up here. Verizon on the daily is going to move, mostly around like 50 cents or so. So with the trigger at 50.16, I would be looking at, maybe these 52s you can get into super cheap, under $10. If you want, you get the 51.50s as well. Either one of those, super cheap for calls. For puts, I like, the trigger was 49.79, so you could really go after these 49s, you can go after these 48s, or even the 47, not so much 47.50. I'd go after the 48 to the 49s. Either any of these 3 would be what I'd be looking at. So that's just kind of like a breakdown of how I chart and everything. As you can see, TrendSpider, super useful. I know it's a lot of money, but it's something that I really like. So if you ever are in the market for it, I definitely highly recommend it. If you look at here, I can scan for so many different setups in terms of what I'm looking for. So it is very helpful. It also helps in terms of stocks as well. You can scan for X dividends. You can scan for things that have a high RSI. So if you want an RSI over 60, let's say, so you're looking for them to come down, you can scan for anything. It'll pop up, all the ones that have an RSI over 60 on that time frame, so you can look at those. Yes, I definitely really like it. But like I said, I know it's a lot of money, so if you guys need it, I'll always be scanning for plays for everything, so, don't worry about that. I always try to find, I have all my strat setups ready for all the reversals, so we'll always be looking for plays on each time frame. Um, we'll be back tomorrow with a watch list and everything. So hopefully we can make some good money for everybody this week after the beat down the market has taken the last two. Another very, very useful tool that I use, if you guys don't know about it, Options Profit Calculator. This website is amazing. So you essentially will go and put in your call or put, and so I'll just pick a random one. We'll do one of the ones that I voice is messed up. In terms of what got messed up, so I know. But in terms of this, you just put in like your contract and everything, and it'll tell you. So I'll do Pfizer. I'll do the one that we're looking at, the 50. Right. So one of these is $34. Agree. And then this will show you essentially what you're looking at. So if you want to swing these over the next couple of days, okay, starting tomorrow, if this is, under 48.80, you might be down. So you have this 20%. Should I take 20% or risk tomorrow, going up more, but I'll be down 6%. So that's just kind of a way to look at data and everything to kind of help you guys. Very useful. I really recommend, always taking a look at these. Voice is messed up. Or are you saying my voice is like scratchy and stuff from the weekend bender? Yes, it definitely is. Two weddings will definitely put you on your ass. It's a rough time, but it was a great time. Two good friends, so can never say no to a party though. But if you guys weren't in here before, I did announce that later today I'm going to be letting the Discord know that I'll be doing a $100 challenge. Yes. So the price on the calculator is not 100%. It's just a kind of like it kind of just gives you a vague area of where it may be, may not be, because IV is always going to be a little bit different. So with that, you just kind of have a basic understanding, knowing that this is where your contract will, kind of be around, or this is what you're shooting for. In terms, I like it more for today. If you're looking at today, if you hit these levels, you'll have about this. So it's not a perfect science, but it does kind of give you a nice little number to gauge at, especially if you're going to be swinging over the weekend. But like Sale said in the chat, you can mess with the IVs here, change them to whatever it is on the option, chain. So we did the Pfizer 50. So if I go back to Pfizer, right? If I look at this 50 call for this Friday, the IV is 40%. So if I put in 40% here, 40%, update the calculator, this is really what you're looking at now. So it's a little bit different. It changes a little bit. So it's just something you have to kind of gauge and everything. Well, that's a little wrong too, though. Yeah, it's just something you have to play with, because this is a little bit off, because as you can see, it's over where we are, and this is now, it's just something to mess with. I like to, kind of play with this until I get, a solid range or so. So. I see Karen wants Exxon. Let's go take a look at Exxon. Alright, this is it on the hourly. We currently have a little 2-up continuation. 4 hour daily, weekly are all red. That's because, well, the whole market's been taking a dump. But I'll take a look at the 4 hour as well. It's going to be 2 down because of this gap down. So if we can kind of get into this gap area, that'll flip, and then we're looking at good. I'll take a look at AMD next. Going back to Exxon though, if you look at the 15 and 30, so right now you have an inside for this 15 that just started, so we have some time in terms of that. So we have to see how this develops. If we can, with this 3, right, it opened at 96.33, closed at 96.40. So we really want, we do have a PMG that started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 5 leg, while also we did break all the PMGs that were to the downside. So this one, if we stay inside here, then we're looking for that 2 with that next candle that'll start at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So that's really what we're looking for. Or even if we get a 2 here in either direction, we're looking for then that next candle to be a 2 in the opposite direction. So that's what I'd be looking for Exxon on these 15 minutes. This candle will be huge to see how we set up for this next, next little run. So with that, I have the chart. Let me pull that up for you guys. The chart with all of the reversals. So we can take a look at that. Boom, here it is. So with this, we are looking at Exxon. It has a 3 right now. So this 3, if you get a bearish reversal, you can ride it if it breaks below that 3. So go back to the chart. If we break below here, so it would be 96.15, you look for that reversal to the downside. Break above 97.12, you look for that reversal to the upside. That's one where you can play. Or if you wanted to kind of just let it play out a little bit, in terms of what you're looking for, that would then you can do like the 3-1-2s, which is the Chicago's, or you look for the bearish reversal to 3-2-2s. So those are I like playing these more, the 3-2-2s and the 3-1-2s. I don't like the 3-2s as much. So that's something we have to look at. And this candle will really set us up for those higher time frames. Now let's take a quick look at AMD. Here it is on the 15 minute. Let me look at it on the higher time frame just to have. Again, just like Exxon, running those 2 up continuations, trying to get back to, this is where the gap started at 92.02, so it's got a couple dollars to move. We'll take a look at the smaller time frames, the 15 minute. This is currently running on a nice PMG to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 legs so far. So as we continue to push up, if this one can stay inside, it'll be another leg, and then we look for that, reversal off the 1. Again, we go back to here, right? I don't like playing the continuations here, so if I see continuation, I wait for a better confirmation candle, aka a reversal. That's what I look for. But we're looking at the 2s. So we get that inside, we'd be looking here for the 2-1-2 reversal. So that's what I'd be looking at. Or you get the, like this bullish continuation is a little bit different because the 1 is an actionable signal. So that's why, it may be a continuation, but it's not just a regular continuation. It's off that 1, and that 1 is huge. Or you get the reversals off the 2-1-2s. That's what I'd be looking at. And when I say actionable signal, I'm actually going to be coming. I have to re-record my intro to strat video, which will go over all this. It has a breakdown of all the actionable signals that you should be looking at. Like one of them, taking a look at this AMD chart again in the 15 minute, is this hammer. That's another actionable signal. You get in at the top of the hammer, right there, like that's your entry, and you ride it up. Which, if you see here, you got in at the top of this hammer. This candle ran to a high of 90.42 on the 15th. You could have rode that for just under $1. So right now, between Exxon and AMD, I'm waiting for this 15-minute candle and see how it plays out. Both of them are really just kind of in a range that once you get that candle, that's when you can really see your swings. We can take a look at it on the 30 again. It's also on the 2-up continuation. right now, if you can get this 15-minute candle to flip green, you have your 3 in the, to the green side, and we're looking to then try to just make it back somewhat near that 4 hour, so that when the next 4 hour candle develops, you get that to go green, you get that time frame continuity in your direction, and you're looking for that nice run. So yeah, that's really what I look for when I trade. I look for the time frame continuities to all be, get their reversals to their side, to the same side. I look for, just basic reversals off of the 15-minute and the hourly. Those are huge ones, especially if you have some nice, price targets. There will be times where the price targets are only like 30 cents or so. I won't really take them because it could be a little bit of a fake out in my mind. So I look for ones that have nice, price targets to run on those reversals. So we got about 10 minutes till the next candle. So that means in the next 10 minutes or so, that's when we really have to look at AMD and Exxon to see how they want to move from there. Let's see what the Discord's up to. And then for boomers, we always have it. But again, thank you all for tuning in. Means a lot. I hope this video helps you guys a little bit. Learn how to, the way I chart at least, kind of get into the minds of how I do it. I know not everybody uses the strat, but I hope it kind of just helps everybody learn different strategies. Maybe you might like it and everything. So like I said, I have to re-record the video for the intro to the strat, so you can guys have a really in-depth analysis on how to trade with the strat. I'm also going to, I'll make sure to save this video as an actual video, so that way if you guys want to come back and look at, just kind of how I broke down plays again, we'll do that. It'll be on the, the channel. So I'll let the Discord know as well that, if they want to learn how to trade, how I chart and everything throughout the 15 and everything, that they can look at that. I got about 7 minutes for this new candle. If you guys have anything else you want me to look at, just let me know. I'll pull up the charts. We could go back and look at those plays that we talked about before with Pfizer, Apple. Well, Pfizer started to really dump. We looked at it on the hourly. So when it updated its levels to that 48.43, you got a nice dump to about 48.36. So not a huge dump in terms of what it is. It's only, 8 cents or so. So it looks a lot worse than it is, but we are still looking for this 48.31. So that is something that we're looking for, and all time frame continuity is going in your direction from 15 down. So you're looking on the 15-minute. We are approaching a lot of these different price targets that we'd be looking for, and we have a lot more room to go down. So if you got in that Pfizer play, you might be having a nice little run here to the downside. We were looking at it before in terms of price, the contracts. Sorry, I was looking at the Apple ones before, but let's look at the Pfizer ones, just so we can take a look. We are looking at like these 47, 46 contracts.
Nothing huge in terms of movement yet, but if we start breaking down under this 48, then we're going to see a lot more movement in those contracts. We'll take a look at Apple, see how that did. Apple on the hour. This one actually triggered pretty well. As you see, the trigger was 134.46, hit a high of 135.05, so you got about 50 cents on that to the call side, which is nice. So taking a look at Apple. We were looking at those 140s, if I'm not mistaken. But those 140s did pop a bit. Yeah, so the 140s, they were around that $90 range. They hit a high of 104, so you could have made about $10 or so on those, which is not a terrible, kind of scalping between the day. Let's go back to Exxon, and then we'll take a quick look at AMD as well as this hour flip, or the 15-minute flip is about to happen. Still inside on the 15 for Exxon. AMD actually just dumped hard, and that's where we got our reversal. So AMD, our entry was 89.50, and now we are breaking for these pivots. So that is what happened with AMD here. We broke through a second one. We have a third one here at 88.81. And then these are all of our price targets as we just try to, on the 15-minute, take out each leg of these. So if you got in here at this 89.50 off this reversal, you're now at 89.06, just under 50 cents. And you're looking for a nice run, and your next price target, like I said, is 88.81. That could be a nice little scalp for you throughout the day, especially we still have about 3 hours to go until the market closes. You got all time frame continuities running in your direction. We have a new candle in 3 minutes, so if that continues with another 2 down, I could really see these, at least 1 or 2 of these pivots being taken out. Really breaking down now. Low of 87. So we're really approaching that 81 price target. So we really have to see how this next candle sets up. If we do get that 2 down, like I said, I really see these 2 pivots being taken out rather quickly. Less than a minute to that flip, so let's see how this plays out. Especially Exxon's probably still in that 15-minute inside. It is just barely missed triggering. Missed it by 1 cent, but we're about to get that flip. Can it stay inside? And then we look for that downside. here's the flip, stayed inside, and now we look, and there's the 2 down on XOM, so that's when I'd be looking at their puts now, and then try to take out some of these pivots to the downside, kind of like what we just saw with AMD before. We'll go back to AMD, how that new candle is, playing out. We got another 2 down, and like I said, we got that 2 down. This next pivot was taken out almost instantly, and now we shoot for the 72, and you're looking for a nice dump here in terms of this PMG. So yeah, I really like playing PMGs, especially when you get the reversals, because and there goes the second leg. But like this is why I like it, because it was running so hot to one direction. Now once you take out these where a lot of people have their stop losses, you usually break through and continue to the downside, and it really helps you if you're playing the downside. Take a look at SPY real quick. We got another 2 down, so we had the 2 down, 2 up, 2 down reversal here on this 15 minute. All the time frames are down to the downside. With this, we had at least 5. We had 6. We had 7 to the upside for SPY. It's already broken through 3, so we still have more to the downside. We're looking for this, hopefully we can get back to the 374.94, which I'd be looking for. It's approaching that's the fourth one, which is 377.55. So that's something to look at with this downside, especially if this continues to pull back. AMD is going to keep on pulling back and looking for these other pivots. XOM as well, it started a little bit, hasn't taken out any pivots yet, because you see here, I'll do the line so we have them all the way through. It's taken out 1 pivot so far, essentially 2. So now, actually no, this was already taken out from before, so we're really only breaking out the 1 so far. The next one is at 95.90, so hopefully take that out with SPY pulling back. But this is why I always say you always got to be mindful of SPY, because SPY is going to really, the market loves to follow SPY, as it is, a huge indicator of how the market's doing on the day. So when I always am watching SPY to make sure that it's not going against me and everything. So if I see that pulling back, I'm in calls, I get out, just try to save my position as much as possible. Alright, but I think I'm going to hop off here, make some lunch and everything. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If I'm ever, in the near future when I'm off from work, I'll try to do more of these just so I can, do some charting for you guys, whatever plays you want to see. Like I've always been saying, throw them in the chat. I'll chart for you. Even, days when I'm at work, if you guys need me to look at anything, just shoot me a ping. I'll take a look at any charts, in terms of the strat. So, you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll be in the Discord chat and everything, so if you need me, just let me know. I'll take a look. So yeah, I hope you guys make some money on the rest of the day, and I hope you enjoy it, and everything. Have a great day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.